When's the base closing?
Friday's D-Day.
Guess it's pretty much emptied out by now then, huh?
Just about. What are you, a reporter or something?
No, just curious, that's all.
There he is.
He was a cop and good at his job, but he committed the ultimate sin and testified against other cops gone bad. Cops that tried to kill him, but got the woman he loved instead. Framed for murder, now he prowls the Badlands, an outlaw hunting outlaws, a bounty hunter, a renegade.
That's not bad. So which one of these do you like?
For what? A dartboard?
I'm taking out an ad in Business Week. What does this one tell you?
Kitty show host.
How about this one?
Hitman.
Hitman. Well, what about these two? Huh?
I don't know, man. Frito Bandito.
You greatly underestimate the power of advertising, my friend. Do you know that? You also know that most businesses fail in their first year because their marketing budgets are ruefully inadequate.
I'm hungry.
This is more important.
Excuse me. Is this Six Killer Enterprises?
Yes, it is. Bobby Six Killer at your service. And you are?
A potential client.
Well, how did you find us, sir?
Your ad in the Tribune.
Well, it sure does pay to advertise, doesn't it? Please, sit down, and how can I help you?
Mr. Six Killer, I'm willing to offer you a $10,000 reward if you can find something for me.
Really? And exactly what would you like us to find, sir?
This.
A UFO.
Well, it certainly pays to advertise. Vince Black.
Peter Flood.
You know, Mr. Flood, I would love to tackle this intriguing assignment.
I know. You think I'm a crackpot, but hear me out. 3 years ago, I was stationed at Travis Air Force Base. We get a call one night from some farmer. Says a UFO has crashed on his property. CO sends me out to take away the glue the guy's been sniffing, right? Have a look at this. This is the crash site.
Well, the Air Force does work with many top-secret experimental aircraft.
I had top security clearance. We didn't have anything in the sky that night.
What did your CO do when you showed him the pictures?
General Byrd said he'd check right into it. He was freaked. He was sure whatever it was didn't belong to us. The next day, that field was crawling with feds and MPs. But the official report said it was a weather balloon.
The general didn't buy the whitewash, did he?
He was the one who signed it. That night, my house was broken into. The only thing taken was the negatives to those pictures. The real trouble started when I wouldn't stop asking questions. They falsified my research. They made me look like a total screw-up. They ruined my life.
Who exactly is they?
They meaning the Air Force, FBI, Pentagon.
I don't know about that. But I do know that the remains of that crash were transferred to Calvert Air Force Base in a freight container.
No, hold on a second. Calvert's been closed for over a month now.
That's right. It's set for demolition the end of the week.
So they're gonna move that container any day.
Or they're gonna blow it up and it's gonna be gone forever. Look, gentlemen, the only way that I can prove to the world that I'm not crazy is getting my hands on that evidence. So, are we in business?
How can you take him seriously?
That's exactly what you said about D.B. Cooper, and we found him.
D.B. Cooper's not a little green man from Mars.
For thousands of years, Indian hieroglyphics have been telling us about visitors from the sky. Modern engineers have been doing studies on ancient Aztec ruins, and do you know what they found out?
No, but I know you're going to tell me.
That the technology to build those suckers weren't even invented back then. They had nothing.
Meaning what?
Meaning that maybe we had a little help from somebody up there.
I still don't think Pete Flood had a close encounter.
But what if he did? And what if the evidence that he's talking about is there?
What if he's a loon? We can't let him spend his whole life savings on some wild goose chase.
I will do a complete background check on him, okay? While you run up to Calvert and check the place out, okay? If there's anything not kosher about him, we're out of there. Honest Injun.
And we give him all his money back?
Of course. Minus my expenses. All right, all right. I'll give him all his money back.
Meet you there.
Talk, Miss Batista.
Jim, we've already been through this. I can't hire your friend.
Because you only hire your wetback cousins?
Then how come Jim here is on my payroll?
Little Miss Foreman, think you're mighty tough, don't you?
Hey, leave the lady alone.
Go to hell.
You okay?
Yeah. You're fired, Jim. You show up anywhere near the job site and I'm calling the police. I guess I'm not used to playing the damsel in distress.
I'm sure you would have handled yourself just fine.
Angela Batista.
Hi, Vince Black. Oh, Johnson Demolition. Isn't that the crew that's dismantling the Air Force Base?
Yeah, I'm the job superintendent.
I'm impressed.
What about you? What's your story?
Actually, I'm looking for work.
I just fired someone. Maybe it's your lucky day.
I'd say it already is.
So far, everything about Flood is checking out, pal.
How thoroughly was it checked?
Well, according to the government's own records, Major Peter Flood was stationed at Travis Air Force Base from May '89 to September '93 when he was honorably discharged.
Was there any report of the crash?
Officially explained as a weather balloon, just like he told us. But you know what? Listen to this. Do you remember General Howard Byrd, the guy Flood said was part of the cover-up?
Yeah.
Well, he is now the commanding officer at Calvert.
So he transferred, so what?
But why Calvert? Can you answer me that? And why did the farmer who owned the field that the UFO crashed in move out of the country? And why did the agent who headed up the investigation wind up dead in a car crash? It sounds like a cover-up to me, pal.
Any information on that mystery container?
No, I'm still working on it. There's no easy way to access military storage records, but it does check out that they have the stuff transferred from Travis.
Well, Calvert Air Force Base is the size of a small city. Flood's got to give us something more concrete to go on.
He's got a hunch it's in Building 15. Start there.
Yeah? Well, I've got to get back to work.
Well, hang tight. I'll get back to you as soon as I talk to him, okay? Bye.
Where the hell do you think you're going?
I thought the building was empty.
This is a military installation, and you're trespassing.
No, I'm not. I'm working here.
I've never seen you before.
I thought I saw someone head inside. I don't want anyone getting hurt.
What's your name?
What's going on here?
I want him off the base, that's what.
Look, I don't tell you how to run the Air Force. Don't tell me how to run my crew.
I'm making a full report.
I'm shaking in my boots.
You're in a lot of trouble.
I don't know, but I may not be an expert in public relations, but making him mad might not be the best idea.
Yeah, he'll get over it, trust me.
How so?
He's my brother.
Small world.
Yeah, too small. He tried to keep me from getting this job. Michael's head of the BRAC committee. It's the base realignment and closing committee. He was afraid if I got hired as foreperson on the job that it would look like favoritism or conflict of interest.
Well, what difference does that make as long as you get the work done?
That's what my boss said. But Michael thinks that I'm taking a job away from a man.
It's a pretty prehistoric attitude.
Tell me about it.
You must be the legendary Bobby Six Killer.
In the flesh, and you are?
Howard Bird.
As in General Howard Bird.
Yes. Not on golfing days. This is strictly unofficial.
Well, how can I unofficially help you?
A fellow by the name of Pete Flood come by here to see you.
All the names of my clients are confidential, sir.
Well, after 32 years in the military, all I know is fire straight ahead. I apologize. I'm not asking you to compromise your integrity.
Apology accepted. How can I help you?
Flood's a suspect in a break-in in my base. We haven't charged him yet, but we're pretty sure he's the guy. Mr. Six Killer, I'm going to give it to you straight. I know he was here.
And I'm withholding confidential information.
Well, I'm not here to harass you. I need you as an ally, not an enemy. Flood worked for me for more than 10 years. He was a good soldier, stand-up guy, then one day he snapped. Concocted this crazy story about a flying saucer that landed outside a base.
Well, there was a report of a crash outside of Travis.
And he's got you convinced it wasn't a weather balloon.
He's also got me convinced that it wasn't experimental, because he had top security clearance at that time.
Oh, no. His top secret status was suspended.
What for?
Well, we had an espionage scare. We suspended a dozen clearances, just to make the folks back in D.C. happy. The Flood took it hard. Never the same after that. The Air Force did everything they could for him. I made sure of that.
And then you had him discharged.
I had to. The shrinks had him diagnosed as paranoid delusional. He couldn't do his job. I'll bet he never told you about that, did he? Well, that's all in the past. All I'm worried about now is that he's going to get himself hurt, or he's going to sucker some well-meaning civilian like yourself.
Yes, well, I will take all this information into consideration.
Thanks for your time, Mr. Six Killer.
Thank you.
Where do you think you're going?
It's quitting time.
You didn't finish pulling wire in the basement.
You are not his boss, Miguel.
No, I'm your boss. The general wants that building clean of salvage by 5 o'clock.
His shift is over at 4.
It's all right. I'll do it.
When are you gonna stop telling me how to do my job?
When you learn to do it right.
This is the biggest job I've ever been assigned, and you are deliberately trying to make me look bad in front of my crew.
I don't have to. You're doing a fine job all by yourself. Look, I'm sorry, Angela. I didn't mean that, okay?
Don't speak to me. Come on, let's go. Let's get him out of here.
Who turned your head, Reno?
I'm not kidding, Bobby. Think Pete Flood's telling the truth.
Right.
I mean it.
Have you been brainwashed?
No, but I was almost charbroiled. Somebody wants me out of the way, real bad.
Listen, General Howard Byrd paid me a visit. Gave me the whole lowdown on Flood. This whole UFO story is probably his way of getting back at the Air Force, you know, for revoking his clearance and discharging him. Do you know that he's wanted for questioning? Because he tried to break on to the Calvert base?
Well, what do you expect the Air Force brass to tell you?
Wait a minute, now you're starting to sound as paranoid as he is.
Have you got the building plans yet?
No.
Well, what are you waiting for?
What am I waiting for? Flood hasn't even showed up. That boy's got no manners. So where the hell have you been?
I've got to be very careful. Look, I'll have the plans in the morning. So you've spoken with General Byrd, huh?
Yeah, I did talk to General Byrd. And he started poking holes in your story, pal. Why didn't you tell me that your top secret clearance was revoked the night you saw whatever you think you saw?
I was suspended on paper. It didn't mean anything in a practical sense. The night of the crash, it was business as usual.
He said you tried to break into a military facility.
Mm-hmm. Did he have a warrant for my arrest?
Oh, you got answers for everything, don't you?
You know, my dad used to tell me when you stick to the truth, you don't have to remember what you said.
Well, let me tell you what I'm about to say, pal. You cut the crap. Now, you tell me everything. Why are you going after the Air Force?
You know, once upon a time, I was a happily married man. She was my first love, my only love. We didn't have a lot, but we had each other. We were together. And that's all that counted. But after the investigation, the questions, the shame, it was all too much for my wife to take. Nancy left me about a month after I was discharged. You know, you'd think after 3 years I could let it go, right? Trouble is, I can't let go of Nancy.
I understand.
So you see, Mr. Six Killer, I really don't care if the whole world believes me. I only care that Nancy believes me.
Relaxing after a hard day's work?
Vince, I was worried about you. How are you feeling?
I'm fine. I just wanted to stop by and personally thank you for pulling me out when you did.
Michael feels terrible sending you in there.
I was working that building all day. How could the power suddenly turn itself on?
There must be a live breaker somewhere we didn't know about. And I thought I was going to get through this job without any accidents.
Well, speaking of accidents, don't you think it's dangerous to have people working inside a building 15?
No one's working 15.
I saw someone go in there.
Must be an MP sneaking to smoke. Does that Softail ride as good as she looks?
Well, why don't you put down your basket of flowers and find out for yourself?
Excuse me. Are you Nancy Flood?
Yeah, who wants to know?
Bobby Six Killer, ma'am. I'd like to talk to you about your ex-husband.
Don't you people ever give up? Second thought, you are not military.
Thank you. You see, Mrs. Flood, I'm a licensed bounty hunter.
So what, now there's a price on his head?
Well, not that I know of. Your husband hired me to help him. I'm hoping you can help me sort through some of this.
Peter didn't bother telling you about the restraining order, did he?
Well, I know that both of you did not leave in the best of terms.
Look, mister, my ex-husband is a deeply troubled man. So if you'll excuse me.
Well, wait a minute. What if he should come up with some information that would clear this story?
Look, I don't want to know, okay?
Why not?
Peter and I had a son. Joey was 3 when his dad first started having these flights of fancy. So I bawled him out for ignoring his son, and he decided to take Joey to a ball game. It started to rain on his way back from the game. We lived up in the mountains. I guess the street was wet because he lost control of the car. Peter survived the accident. Joey didn't.
I'm sorry.
Peter was never the same after that. Neither was our marriage. Now I really have to go.
Hey, you got a 3/4 open end? Cool. Vince Black's still asking a lot of questions about Building 15. He saw the crew on the roof.
Mm-hmm.
The Bureau's attempt to disengage Mr. Black did not succeed.
Did not succeed? Good God, you almost burned down the building.
Be that as it may, Howard, Mr. Black still needs to be terminated.
I had the peroxide who answers my phone do a background check on him. Vince Black is a bounty hunter. Works for Six Killer Enterprises. You just let him be. He'll lead us right to Pete Flood.
100. Give me another 100, baby. Come on. Yes. Okay. All right. No. Yes. Come on, one more time. Yes. 250,000. Yes. Yes, baby. Yes.
I better quit while I'm here. See you later. So, is this seat taken?
I hope so.
Sauvignon Blanc, please.
I'll just have a beer. I thought you drank beer.
Yeah, well, don't tell anybody. This sissy wine store could be bad for my image.
You have a pretty unusual image.
How's that?
Well, you're beautiful. You're feminine, and you blow things up for a living. That's a pretty interesting combination.
If you want to know more, you'll have to come over for dinner tomorrow night.
You cook, too?
Some say.
Well, at least I know what kind of wine to bring.
8 o'clock?
I'll be there. Do you know that guy?
I might have seen him around. Why?
That's the fella I saw sneak into Building 15.
Yeah, he's probably counting up the paper clips we left behind.
You know, I heard there was a break-in at the base.
You hear way too much, boy.
Why don't you have a seat?
I'm the officer in charge of base realignment and closing, not her. You got a problem, you talk to me.
Miguel, please don't do this.
You're bothering my sister. Why don't you get lost?
Miguel?
Do you think you're being just a little overprotective?
Oh, really?
I'll see you tomorrow.
What the hell's going on here?
Freeze! I made some coffee. I hope you don't mind.
What's going on?
Where's Peter Flood?
I don't know. Okay. All right, here's what happened. You guys, IRS, I pay my taxes, man. I don't claim any independence anymore.
Let's try that again.
I was supposed to meet Flood in the morning. He didn't show up. I even talked to his ex-wife, and she didn't know nothing. That's all I know.
He's unbelievable. Call us when he shows.
You don't look so good.
Yeah, well, one of your collection agencies paid me a visit.
I don't owe anyone any money.
I know. Their car had government plates, Pete.
If you want to quit, I'll understand.
You know, when General Byrd started poking holes in your story, I wasn't too sure about you. Especially after talking to your wife, I knew I wasn't too sure about you. But when the Feds started thrashing my office, I knew you were right about one thing. That they're hiding something. And I want to know what that something is.
Let's get busy.
There's a gas leak! Gas leak! Gas leak! Everybody out of here! It's gonna blow! Get out of here! Get out of here now! Go! Move! Everybody out! Right now it's a broken gas line! Let's move! 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 Come on! Go! Move! Everybody out! Everybody out now!
Where the hell is everyone going?
There's a leak in the gas line.
That's crazy. The gas is off.
Then it's coming from somewhere else.
Everyone back in here. On the double.
You still think I'm crazy?
Are you okay?
2 accidents in 2 days. I'm beginning to think this project's jinxed.
Didn't anybody ever teach you not to bring your work home with you?
I bring work home every night.
Come on, no dates.
Not many. Guys aren't too sure about me. I mean, a lot of them talk a good game about wanting a woman who's an equal. But when it gets right down to it, most of them are too insecure to handle it.
That's their loss.
You ever think about settling down?
Maybe someday. There are just a few things I need to work out first.
Afraid of commitment?
No, just honest.
I like honest.
Angela Batista?
What can I do for you?
Well, the guys in town explained to me that you're in charge of the wrecking crew, which I find very hard to believe. But it might explain the behavior of a certain friend of mine, Vince Black. Have you seen him?
Oh, hi, Bobby.
Sir, how are you?
Okay. Blood show up?
He did indeed, and we need to talk.
I gotta go. I'll call you.
Wait a second, wait a second. What's going on?
We just have a personal friend that has a problem, that's all.
Pete Flood's a friend of yours.
You know him?
I know about him. My brother said Flood tried to break into the base last week because he thinks General Byrd is hiding something. Rumor mill says that Flood thinks that something is a UFO. Now, exactly how you fit in, I'm not sure, but I do know you ask way too many questions to be regular crew.
Well, you're right, I'm not. Bobby and I are bounty hunters. Pete Flood hired us.
He hired you to find the UFO.
No, he hired us to find the truth.
Then you're gonna need me.
Well, Miss Batista, we do appreciate your help, but...
If the military's hiding something, I want to know what it is.
Ah, a girl after my own heart, son.
Okay, I'll lay low until we're all ready to move together.
The storage area in Building 15 is subterranean. I've mapped out the fastest access route for Vince. My guess is the elevators aren't operational.
Good guess. We pulled the cable on Tuesday.
So when Vince gets on the base, exactly what is he looking for?
A freight container. It's got some lone government number on it, but it ends in 56.
Well, isn't a freight container a little large to try to strap on the back of a Harley?
They've broken down and sorted all the evidence inside the container. He should grab whatever he can carry.
Well, then we'll create a diversion to get Vince on the base. How tight is that security?
Well, the base is officially closed, so there's only a skeleton security crew.
Unofficially, though, there could be a battalion in that building.
Vince said he saw a paint crew on the roof. He thought they were painting a landing marker.
They're gonna get that container up by helicopter.
That would be my guess.
He's got to move it by morning.
Why?
Because the building is wired to blow at 7 a.m.
Then we move tonight. We're not taking any chances.
Must have been a rat or something.
Freeze. Drop the box. I said drop it.
What is it?
We've been breached.
Let me guess. Vince Black.
He fits the description.
Catch him. Use every man available.
I'm moving up to detonation.
So do it fast.
Yes, sir.
She blows in 1 hour.
He should have been back 2 hours ago.
That's it. I'm going in after him.
He'll never get on the base. If Bird even suspects someone's in that building, he's locked the place up tight.
There's a more serious possibility than that.
Like he moved up the blast?
And the man takes no prisoners.
Then we're calling the cops.
It's a military base. Bird can stonewall the police for hours. You're gonna need one of their own to get in there.
Like who?
It's a long shot, but I've got an idea.
Who is it?
Angela!
Angela, what are you doing here? Who's he?
A friend in need.
Miguel, you have to listen to me. I'm pretty sure that General Bird has moved up the detonation.
For God's sake, Angela, are you nuts?
He's trying to get rid of the evidence.
Evidence of what?
The UFO crash site at Travis.
You're as crazy as a fruitcake who tried to break in here last week.
I am not crazy. Vince was supposed to check in 3 hours ago. We haven't heard from him.
You mean you stuck that long hair on the base?
Unconventional circumstances call for unconventional actions.
Like involving innocent people like my sister, is that it?
It's not his fault. I figured out what was going on. I volunteered to help.
Well, then you're as bad as he is.
Miguel, tú eres mi hermano. Necesito tu ayuda. Arrest me. Arrest him. But first, please check out the base. See if we're right about the general.
You can arrest me, too. I'm the one you really want.
You're Peter Flood.
In the flesh. And I'll stay right here until you check out their story.
You have my word, Miguel. We don't move until you get back.
All right. All right, I'll do it. Bird?
Major Batista. What are you doing here?
Well, I was patrolling the grounds and I saw the door was open.
Glad you're on your toes, Major. Dismissed.
Permission to speak freely, sir.
Permission denied.
There's a rumor that you're pushing up the detonation schedule. Is that true, sir?
Didn't you hear what I said?
Yes, I did, sir.
You're risking severe disciplinary action, mister.
My orders are to evacuate and inspect all buildings before detonation, sir.
You have no more orders, son. I'm relieving you of duty. Now get out of here before I call security.
No, sir.
brother?
Much better. The Air Force is talking about special commendation for bravery.
Well, he earned it.
I'm surprised the Pentagon isn't protecting General Byrd.
People died in that blast. I think it's just a little too big for them to cover up.
I guess this is where I'm supposed to ask you to stay.
I'll come back. I promise.
Man, I thought you were a goner. No such luck.
Good news. The Air Force has dropped all charges against Mr. Pete Flood. No questions asked.
That's great. Yeah. No more living in the shadows, watching my back. God, feels good.
I bet it does.
Listen, I don't know how I'm ever gonna thank you guys enough.
I just wish I got out of there with the hard evidence.
Hey, after what's happened, I've got all the proof I need, believe me. Thanks again, guys.
You know, there is somebody who'd like to talk to you.
I'm not ready for any reporters.
She's not a reporter, Pete.
Nancy.